Hello everybody. Today we are going to discuss about psoriasis. Now, basically psoriasis and homeopathy. Psoriasis is a disease which is autoimmune. Again, it affects the skin layers where there is hyperproliferation of the skin. Now that is basic. So it is just the alteration of the normal function of the skin, right? It's like 6 times more proliferation than the normal skin. Now that is psoriasis. Now, coming to homeopathy and psoriasis, definitely something that affects the whole body, something that affects the constitution, something that is bothering as a whole. It just didn't start right away, can actually be cured with homeopathy, right? As we know, the constitutional approach of homeopathy, the different miasmatic approach of homeopathy. Now, I am not here to tell if psoriasis can be cured by homeopathy or not with proofs, but I am definitely here to discuss the drugs which should come to your brain when you think of psoriasis and homeopathy. Again, I am not taking you to a road where I'm trying to give you the road for therapeutic approach in homeopathy. That is not how homeopathy works, right? It is important for us to understand the person as a whole, to understand the situation, the conditions the person has to face in order to get psoriasis, right? But these are the drugs which should actually come to your brain when you think of it. The following symptoms. Now, as you see, there are so many drugs given here, around 9 drugs. Ars, graphitis, sulfur, etc. They all have such prominent skin complaints which are very good indicative of psoriasis. So I am here to discuss those important symptoms which you should remember. So basically this video is not about psoriasis and homeopathy. This video is the following drugs that can be thought of in psoriasis in homeopathy. So basically skin drugs with skin symptoms which are prominent. Now coming to arsenic, as you know, arsenic skin, again, it's a very peculiar skin. No, it is a very common skin, right? There's a lot of itching, burnings, scaly, rough, but again, the modality is important. Aggravation from cold. Every skin complaint or every other complaint which is aggravated by cold, except for the head, is arsenic, right? Again, you should know worse from damp weather is also present. Worse night aggravation is also present. Ars iod, ars alp. Everything has a great skin affections. It is a very good remedy you can think of in urticaria, psoriasis, eczema, provided you have rough, scaly skin, worse cold, and scratching. And scratching leading to bleeding. Every other symptom comes after that. Okay, malignant pustules, similar to anthracynum. But the burning in anthracynum is severe compared to arsenic, but the affection with lymph nodes, the malignant affections in arsenicum are also prominent, right? Not in ars, right? Now coming to graphitis. Graphitis is similar to ars with the dryness, scaliness, but the discharges of graphitis are exudations which are sticky, yellow, crusty. They are different from the appearance. They're dirty. The skin is dirty. Graphitis skin is very dirty. But there is also a persistent dryness, in graphitis, which is unaffected by eczema. Okay, the one part of the skin that is not affected by eczema. Also, it is a female remedy, as we've discussed in the menopause video, that this female is like menopause female is graphitis and the menarche female is pulse. So it is like that. So it is also a very good remedy for keloids and fibromas and all those things, right? Dirty skin, that you should remember. Worse warmth, again. Worse cold is ars. Worse warmth is graphitis. Okay. Also, you have so many cracks, so many ulcers discharging. Again, the discharge should be the characteristic thing right here. Now coming to sulfur, every skin complaint or on the matter, like every complaint, when you take common symptoms or you just put up every symptom in the totality, you definitely get sulfur, right? Because it is a polycrust. Every symptom is included in sulfur because every disease has that psoric manifestation, psoric symptoms present. Even psoriasis has psoric symptoms, psychotic symptoms and syphilitic symptoms, right? You should just see with the dominance of the symptoms. Now coming to sulfur, you should think of the suppressions, okay? And again, a very unhealthy skin affections after suppressions, suppurations, And then you have itching, burning, everything. And was at washing, warmth of bed, morning, 11 a.m., that is a food aggravation, right? Apart from that, the pruritus, and often recurring in the springtime as given in boric. Recurring in the springtime in damp weather, that is sulfur. Okay, now coming to Mezereum. Mezereum has a very peculiar symptom. Now that is which eruptions that form thick scabs under purulent matter exudes under the purulent matter, and also something like it is given under allen skin also that parchment sticks, or it's just so sticky, the wounds, the scab formation and all, it just gets stuck to your to your wound. That is Mezereum, and when you try to remove it, it bleeds. Okay, and also there is intolerable itching and aggravation in the night present in Mezereum. Now coming to Sepia, it's a very important remedy for herpes, and herpes every spring season. Also aggravation from washing, aggravation from dampness. Now that is also present before and during thunderstorm, also is present in Sepia. Now coming to the other things, the sweat, the hyperhidrosis, that is present in Sepia as well. The sweat also, which is worse, intolerable odor, okay, in Sepia. Also, it is not relieved by scratching. Any itching complaint is not relieved by scratching. Well, it is relieved in other drugs like like Petroleum. Okay. Now coming to Lyco skin, where the skin complaints are also present with renal and gastric affections. There is also a dry, shrunken skin, especially on palms. And the hair, it is prematurely grey. Also, the hair complaints and the skin complaints of Lyco as well. But coming to the skin, primarily focusing on the psoriasis. So it is thick, indurated, and chronic eczema is present. Chronic dryness is also present. Urinary complaints and gastric complaints are associated. Now, Petroleum skin is winter aggravation, right? Winter aggravation skin, better in summer. Better in summer is alumina and Petroleum, as we've discussed in the last video. Now coming to Petroleum skin, even slight scratching causes suppuration in Petroleum. Also you have bleeding in the fingertips and all. So even that is present in Petroleum. Coming to the other important thing is thick greenish crusts, burning and itching as given in boric. Also the skin which is dry and constricted, very very sensitive, Petroleum skin, right? So coming to Natrum again, firstly Natrum, you should remember the greasy oily parts, greasy oily skin, also the eczema, also aggravation from dampness, aggravation from warm room, seashore, okay, and characteristic mental symptoms are present in Natrum again. Natrum skin, mostly you should think of the scalp affections, right? The psoriasis, the scalp, or like that. It's not mentioned psoriasis anywhere, but if dryness is mentioned or proliferation is mentioned, you can very well think of it. Okay. Now coming to phosphorus. Phosphorus is a hemorrhagic diathesis drug, right? It includes the bleeding. Every time when you have a phosphorus symptom, you shouldn't forget one thing, that is bleeding, and the second thing, the sensitivity, right? Sensitivity to everything, sound, music, and change of weather.